Create is a mod offering a variety of tools and blocks for building, decoration, and aesthetic automation. The added elements of tech are designed to leave as many design choices to the player as possible. With Create, the game isn't played inside a bunch of UIs, it challenges you to set up contraptions of animated components working together in many possible arrangements. So, let's begin. For this video, I will be covering just the base Create mod, but it goes without saying that there are tons and tons of add-ons that expand the mod's content and mods that allow Create to be integrated with other mods. Many of Create's recipes use the following resources: andesite, andesite alloy, iron ingot, zinc ingot, brass ingot, copper sheet, iron sheet, brass sheet. Sheets can be made with a mechanical press. The first of these materials that the player will obtain will likely be iron, followed by andesite alloy. Copper and zinc will come later, but brass will not be made until access to the nether is granted. Contraptions are entities that appear as customizable moving structures. Contraptions are created when a movement anchor is activated and the attached blocks are assembled into a contraption. Most movement anchors will activate when given rotational force and disassemble back into blocks when not receiving power or when the contraption is unable to move. Others are activated manually or by redstone. Most anchors have movement modes that change the conditions for when they disassemble. Each movement anchor has at least one sticky side and can move at least one block with no extra utilities. Multiple blocks can be moved with the use of block attachment utilities such as linear chassis, radial chassis, superglue, sticker, slime block, and honey block. Blocks that attach to other blocks, such as levers, signs, or torches, will automatically become part of the contraption. Blocks that automatically attach to other blocks of the same type, such as sails, piston extension poles, mechanical belts, and gantry shafts, only need to be glued in one place. Blocks can stick to sticky chassis, but chassis won't stick to blocks on their own. Slime blocks on contraptions will not pick up honey blocks and vice versa, and neither will pick up glazed terracotta. They will still pick up other blocks such as furnaces. A mechanical bearing can be added to a contraption to attach a second contraption that keeps one alignment as the structure moves. It can be attached at any orientation. Certain blocks cannot be moved by contraptions by default. Other blocks can be moved, but when on minecart contraptions, the car cannot be picked up with a wrench. Most movement anchors have movement modes that can be changed through their value setting screen by hovering over their side and holding right click to access the interface. Most anchors include always place when stopped, only place near starting position, and only place when anchor is destroyed, determining when the blocks are placed back into the world. Cart assemblers have always face movement, pause actors while rotating, and lock rotation. Here are a list of blocks that have special functions on contraptions. Funnels extract items from the contraption inventory. Set to insert, it will pick up items it collides with. Contraption controls can be right-clicked to enable or disable other contraption actors. Storage blocks serve as contraption inventories. Other inventories will be saved, but deployers, portable storage interfaces, and funnels will not recognize any other inventories. Each individual inventory can be accessed via right-click when the contraption is still assembled. When a basin on a contraption is turned upside down, it dumps out the item contents of the basin. Bells will ring each time the contraption's momentum changes. Haunted bells will highlight areas where mobs can spawn when this happens. Placed in the center of a bearing contraption, it will toll for every full rotation. On trains, the bell will ring shortly before the train arrives at a station after traveling a distance. The blaze burner emits smoke particles. The burner's head follows the nearest player. When used on a train in front of a train control, it can follow a train schedule that is used on it. The campfire emits smoke particles. The deployer simulates right or left click actions. If unfiltered, will use the first item it finds in the contraption's inventory. Dispensers and droppers dispense or drop items stored in them. Fire rate depends on the speed of the contraption. If at the center, it fires every second without requiring movement. Fluid tanks serve as fluid contraption inventories recognized by the portable fluid interface. Doors added by the mod automatically open and close when a contraption starts or stops, respectively. Ladders are climbable on contraptions. Mechanical drills and mechanical saws will destroy appropriate blocks and damage entities depending on contraption speed. The mechanical harvester destroys appropriate blocks and does not damage entities. The mechanical plow tilts dirt, destroys appropriate blocks, and can fling enemies without damaging them. The mechanical roller clears and paves blocks. The note block can be used as an arrival sound cue on trains. The instrument and pitch is accounted for. When the active end of the contact meets that of a stationary redstone contact, It causes the stationary contact to emit a redstone signal. The seat carries mobs or players. Slime block remains bouncy on an active contraption, but does not negate fall damage. The steam whistle can be used as an arrival sound cue on trains. Train controls, when used on a train, can be right-clicked to be given control of the train, or placed in front of a blaze burner or seat to be piloted by the burner or a seated mob. Now that we've looked at contraptions, we can dive into rotational force. Rotational force is what powers the various machines and the contraptions in the Create mod. Speed refers to how quickly a rotational component is spinning. It is measured in RPM and can be seen with a speedometer. The maximum rotation speed of a component is 256 RPM by default. Any component added to step up speed further, such as a cogwheel on a large cogwheel, will break off. Speed can be controlled through several means. A cogwheel and a large cogwheel can be connected together diagonally. One rotation of the large cogwheel is equivalent to 2 rotations of the small one, so the small one will always rotate twice as fast as the large one. A rotation speed controller with a large cogwheel can easily change the speed and direction of any input. An adjustable chain gearshift can change the speed of encased chain drives connected to it based on redstone signal. Higher speeds proportionally raise the stress requirement of a mechanical component. Twice the RPM produces twice the stress. Stress networks can be combined as long as they rotate in the same direction and speed where they meet. Stress is the amount of energy mechanical components need to run and is shared across all components that are connected together in a network. It is measured in stress units, SU. The stress requirement or production of a certain component can be seen by looking at it wearing engineer's goggles, and the total stress of a network can be measured with a stressometer. Each network has a total amount of stress units available to work with, which can be produced by generators such as the hand crank, water wheel, windmill bearing, and steam engine. Mechanical components utilize a certain amount of the SU available to the network, depending on their type and the speed they're working at. If more stress units are used than are available to the network, it will become overstressed and stop entirely until more stress capacity is added or stress generating components are removed. There are several ways to transfer rotational energy. The shaft transfers rotational energy in a straight line. Some components have shafts built in. The cogwheel inverts force, doubles or halves speed, can rotate axis 90 degrees. Some components have small cogwheels built in. The encased chain drive relays rotation and can rotate axis 90 degrees. The adjustable chain gearshift, when used with an analog lever, can manipulate speed between doubling or halving it. The gearbox is a miniature version of 4 connected large cogwheels. The clutch stops outgoing rotation when powered with redstone. The gear shift inverts outgoing rotation when powered with redstone. The gantry carriage can move along a line of gantry shafts and outputs the rotational force when the shaft is powered with redstone. The sequenced gear shift allows for sequences of specific amounts of rotation. The rotation speed controller outputs a specified speed and direction of rotation. These are the base elements of the mod that you should need to create all manner of contraptions. One really cool example that I'll take a look at is the train. Trains are contraptions that travel on train tracks. Unlike vanilla trains, Create trains can be controlled by players riding on the train or by conductors. They can go through unloaded chunks even when unmanned, and can pass through nether portals and aether portals. The following are the minimum needed to create a train: the train track, the train station, the train casing, the train controls, and the superglue block attachment utility. Here are step-by-step instructions for making a train. Place the track and right-click it with a station block. Place the station block near the track. Right-click on the station and select Create Train to enter assembly mode. Place one or more train casings on the track where indicated with blue. The casings will turn into bogies. When assembled, each bogie will automatically become coupled together as part of the train. To create a carriage, build a platform around 2 bogie bases. Place a train controls block facing the direction dictated by the station. This is shown as an arrow on the station's selected track. Place another set of train controls facing the opposite way to make the engine bidirectional, and place a seat or blaze burner behind the controls for the driver. Use block attachment utilities such as superglue to connect all parts together. When finished, use the station's interface to attempt to assemble the train. If a train fails to assemble, an error will be shown in the station's interface. When assembled, the train can be named in the station's interface. This is a super expansive mod, and this video barely scratches the surface, just showing the basics of getting started. There are tons of cool creations that the community has made using this mod that you can check out to get some inspiration. That will do it for the Create mod. It's available to download in the description. Thank you for watching, and take care.